Hi friends, welcome to the Wild Side. I'm Steve Hall. Procrastination is not often seen as a plus. We plan to do something, then put it off and eventually pay the price. But in the hummingbird world, a momentary delay can lead to a unique reward.
This is not at all as it appears. Sure, the sun is shining and the hummingbird is looking for food. But this is not a warm May morning. Temperatures are close to freezing on this winter day.
What we're doing is documenting the appearance of western hummingbirds that arrive here in the winter.
Although uncommon, they are not really considered rare. Over 300 have been documented in Tennessee during the last 30 years.
So he's left the Rockies or he's left Alaska, wherever he was born. We have no clue where he was born. And he's just come down and he's come across into the southeast, and he can make a living, he can find food, find what he needs, and this is where he is.
He's a rufous hummingbird, and he's chosen a residential neighborhood in Murfreesboro as his sugar water restaurant.
Every winter, we've kept one or two hummingbird feeders out in hopes that we would see one, and just got lucky this year.
But that's not always the way it happens. In fact, more often than not, it's forgetting to bring the feeders in at the end of summer that stops a hummer on his flight down south.
Although we try to encourage people to leave a feeder out, on the outside chance that they will get one of these birds, they'll find the feeder and feed.
In a place quite different from the quiet neighborhood in Murfreesboro, but on the very same day, a female rufous is feeding near a noisy Nashville apartment complex. She not only zeroed in on this small patio, but chose it 2 years in a row.
So it was October of 2020, and I didn't think there should be any hummingbirds left by the time November got here. So the hummingbird feeder was up, and I just kept saying to myself, I'll get it done tomorrow. I'll take it down tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. And by the mid of November, second week of November, it was still up. And I was coming across the yard to the patio, and there she was, and I couldn't believe it.
Just like an added attraction during the lull of a pandemic lockdown, the hummingbird honed in right here.
This is what I think. Now I had it's a big round red feeder, and it was hanging up high on one of these hooks, and it's wide open to the sky. Big, the leaves are gone, so it would be very visible from a lot of directions from the sky. It's just an amazing experience. It's made my life so much more colorful.
The hummer went away a few months later, instinctively heading out for breeding season, but then found her way back again, flying into an area now alive with activity.
She's apparently gotten used to it. There are a lot of kids, and every now and then they like to come out, and when they play, they're kids, and they make a lot of racket. And she'll keep her distance for a while they're out, but she'll come. She has to feed. She has to get that sugar water. So she's become accustomed to that. I can get a really accurate reading of the temperature of the sugar water. Last night, it got down to about 26, and I measured the water at 55 degrees. They've come out with a new contraption that straps on the bottom of the feeder, which is where the little hummer is sitting right now and right next to you.
I can hear her right over my head.
She's feeding. That's amazing.
The little band on her leg confirms she is the same one who started feeding here in 2020. But the one back in Murfreesboro just hatched this year.
I hear him. He's over there in that bush. He's on the bush in the corner of the yard. At least we know he's still here. So be still, everybody. Got him.
Winter hummingbirds go into a state known as torpor in order to survive a drastic decrease in temperature. Their heart rate, often up to 1,200 beats per minute, can drop as low as 40 during the night.
And then the sun came up this morning, warmed him up, and he was looking for breakfast when we caught him.
An audience of vultures watches from on high as the little hummer is quickly taken to be examined, measured, and banded, in continuing research of migration routes and preservation of this species.
Now we're going to get a band on him. Okay, Steve, the number is U22699. He'll wear this band for the rest of his life and take it with him in his travels. And look and see if he has any fat. And he does, a 1, which means James is feeding him very well. 3.72, which just tells me that he's doing great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gorget feathers, which are the feathers in his neck. As he matures, that will all fill in and be just a beautiful orange color. He is drinking a little. You can see his head vibrating.
An assisted sip of warm sugar water, and this little guy is about to be released wearing his new shiny bracelet.
And there you go. Yay, so exciting, so exciting.
When he came and looked, kind of went around the feeder a couple of times, I thought, okay, that happens, and then they'd come away. But yeah, I was real pleased. You couldn't ask for it to be much smoother than that, really.
Once you release a hummingbird that's been banded, you're hooked for life. So everywhere that I've lived, I've put hummingbird feeders out.
While one puts out feeders on purpose and another forgets to bring them in, what seems to be really rare is finding a foolproof guaranteed way to attract a winter hummingbird.
So I leave a feeder out every winter. 19 years, still haven't gotten a winter bird. Some people put one out for the first time and get a bird that first winter. It's really, I don't know, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I haven't figured it out yet. Why they choose one place over another.
It's kind of the luck of the draw, you could say. You know, I don't know. I can't really say that there would be any guidance. I'm grateful. It's just incredibly grateful that it's turned out this way.
Well, I'm an ordinary guy, but it makes you feel pretty special when they decide to choose your yard to hang out in.
Especially when a logical flight pattern from the Rocky Mountains down to Mexico probably wouldn't include Tennessee.
That's one of the big mysteries. Is it logical? Probably not, but you know, if he's on his way down from the west and comes across and he can make a living in the southeast, why go all the way to Mexico? Birds are efficient. They don't do anything they don't need to do until it's time to do it. And if he can make a living here in Tennessee, then he's going to stay here.
I'm Annette Noel Hall on the Wild Side.
If you have a hummingbird at your feeder after November 15th and before March 15th, Cyndi would love to hear from you.